What's up, friends? Concealment Chris here. Finally bringing you the Old Faithful holster review. I've been getting asked a lot about when this is coming, when I'm going to do it, and here it is. I'm finally getting some time. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to get it done for you guys. I promised it in one of my last videos, and here it comes. Getting me kind of caught up. It's been a year that since I've done the assembly. A year of carrying this, using it almost every day. And I've got to tell you guys, I love it. It is my favorite holster I have for my 238, and it has just been phenomenal. So we'll get right into it. I'm going to cover three topics here. So first, we're going to talk about the concealment of the holster, how well it conceals on your person when you're wearing it. Second, we're going to get into its comfort, and then lastly, we're going to talk about its quality, finishing up with my thoughts on pros and cons for the holster. So let's get into the concealment first for this holster. I think it conceals extremely well. The way that this fits and sits when you're wearing it, the way that it molds against your body, the way it hugs, it's awesome. It's definitely, again, the most comfortable, like we're going to get into, but it also conceals extremely well compared to some other options, and it feels extremely secure when you're wearing it. And another holster that I have for this, I'll just kind of throw it in here so you guys can see. This is from Remora. It's Bill's Gun Shop because that's what we have around here, but Remora. It's just one of those kind of tacky holsters. You can throw it in the pocket. Sometimes carry my front pocket, cargo pocket if I'm wearing shorts, or you can throw it in the waistband. I've had great luck with it in the waistband, but no clips. Nothing really to hold it there other than the tackiness and the cinch of your belt. So it's minimalist, it's lightweight, but it doesn't cover nearly as much as the hybrid holster does when it comes to the firearm itself. And to me, it just doesn't have that feeling of security like you do when you have clips. So let's get back to the one that we're talking about. The Old Faithful holster, hybrid style. Again, I love it. Gosh, I'm going to end up saying that a lot in this review, but I do. It's been phenomenal. And all you guys that went out and bought it because of my video, you're hopefully feeling the exact same way. So, concealment. Conceals extremely well. You can see where your belt pant line's going to ride, so it sits down real nice. I'll show you guys here. Firearm is clear, no magazine. Down here, I have my carry loads in it, but safety checked. Okay. Get it in the holster here so you guys can see how it looks, how it fits. So when this is sitting, kind of riding back like this, like it would if you can imagine a person is this way, this hugs up against that kind of quarter section of your back really well. So it just sits flush right against the body like this. So no printing. I mean, I sometimes wear a little bit tighter shirts because I'm a bigger guy, and no issues whatsoever. And the only person that usually knows I'm carrying it's my wife, because she always gives me the pat-down check before we leave the house. But other than that, never had any issues. Even if your shirt does ride up, again, this is all inside your pants. It doesn't ever show. No issues there whatsoever. Concealment, phenomenal. Not really much more I can say about that. I was going to take some shots of me wearing it with different shirts, but I think, if you want to see what a holster looks like on somebody, there are plenty of better looking people than me on YouTube that show you. So go look for them. Let's get on to the comfort. Already touched on it quick, but comfort is phenomenal. Extremely comfortable, distributes the weight very nicely with these clips. Mine usually kind of sit in like this when it's wearing it, but what I usually do is this front clip is right against the belt loop behind my front pocket, so this sits right above kind of my back pocket in the corner there, that 4 to 5 o'clock range when I'm wearing it. But extremely comfortable, running, jumping, playing around, whatever, no issues. Most of the time throughout the day I forget it's even there. So one thing to touch on with comfort, as you can see on the back of the holster here, you might see a different kind of texture up here than you do down here. What that is, Old Faithful on their videos or on their website somewhere, they had made mention that if you have any issues with how the leather feels against your body, what you could do is just sand it down lightly to remove any of those rough spots, rough edges from where it's cut. And that's what I did. I just found a finishing block from, you know, doing some paint work in the house and just ran it across the back of the holster here, ran it along the edges to smooth that out. No issues after that. It was a little rough at first against my skin, but after I did that initially, no issues at all. Again, you can see kind of how the leather's broken in here, and we'll touch on a little bit on that in quality, but not a knock on quality, but it does bring up a good point about how they build these. So comfort's been great. Again, the way it hugs the body, distributes the weight, the fit. You can see how the top of the holster here kind of wraps around the top of the gun just from me wearing it, and that's kind of how it's, you know, my body pushes the holster over the top of the gun, but it keeps this whole portion from contacting my skin, which is really great. Get you a little bit up close to that so you can see a little bit better what I'm talking about, but really don't have anything from the firearm touching your skin except maybe the grip here occasionally. And these are not aggressive by any means on this Sig, so no issues there. This stuff, I don't feel it. It's usually against my boxers or a shirt, so not an issue. And you have enough leather across the bottom here from the muzzle that you don't really have that poking into you either, because this sits so flushly against the body. So no issues with comfort. Love it. So getting into quality, again, another positive point for this holster is it is a top quality product. So I talked about the breaking into the back here and how it's molded around the firearm. So the concept for this holster from Old Faithful, with the way that they designed it, is that it's inevitable that this leather will break in and do this with a firearm. Any hybrid style holster with leather is going to do this. So that's why, taking this out here, they did the type of retention system that they did, which is these screws have that rubber grommet between the leather and the kydex. And what that allows you to do is, as this leather molds and stretches, that will make your firearm extremely loose inside the holster. So now you can go in and retighten these to attain the type of retention that you like for your holster and your firearm. And you can see these ones up here, hopefully, are fairly snug down. I've had to go in and tighten them a few times over the year that I've been using them. And I'll show you here on the clip so you can get a little bit better idea of what I'm talking about. But there's just that little rubber grommet there. Essentially all it is this rubber tubing. Cut it to a certain length and then it goes in between. And they give you these pre-cut and then they give you this as extra. So I use this to kind of prop up my firearms, but I keep it around. So that system allows you to adjust the retention, which we'll show here. So it does kind of have that nice click in that, you know, those Kydex holsters are known for. If I shake this up and down hard enough, it will come out, but you know, you've got to think you're not hanging upside down when you're wearing this. You have it like this, and you have your belt cinched around it tight, so that firearm's not going anywhere. So I haven't had any complaints or issues with that. I think it's molded nicely. You can see no issues with where the trigger guard is. You're not going to be accidentally actuating that trigger. Sight channel, perfectly clear, and this has, you know, those night sights on it. No issues with it whatsoever there. So just overall, I think the quality is excellent. Let's pull this out again. We'll give you a close-up of the Kydex, because again, they are using that thicker Kydex, which I've had no issues with. It's been perfectly fine. No cracks, no breaks, no nothing. No issues with the hardware. The leather's been perfectly fine. I mean, you know, a little molded, but not really worn per se. And I've worn this, again, I try to wear it, you know, as many days out of the week as I can, most days, and no issues. It's been great. Metal clips are still intact, and we'll talk about those a little bit later in our pros and cons, but overall, gotta give A+ for quality. Awesome holster. Again, I told you I was going to say it a lot, and it really is. Let's talk about pros and cons. Well, I think I just covered the pros a lot. It's concealment, it's comfort, it's quality. It's all there. It's a perfect package, total package. Go out and buy one of these if you have not. You know, when it comes to other Kydex holsters on the market, these people are getting $70, $80 for these holsters. I just don't get it. I mean, maybe the cost of materials or labor is there, but to be able to get this for what you do and just assemble it yourself and have a top quality product, I just don't think it can be beat. And I'll keep going back to these guys to get holsters for my other firearms. I've got a Ruger SR9C I've been meaning to get one of these for. I've got my first 1911 that you guys saw in my previous video that I'd like to get a holster like this for and try carrying it. Why not? You know, if you've got something like this that distributes that weight, it's extremely comfortable. If it does it with a gun like this that's this small, I'm sure it would do it even better with a larger firearm. And that's where I think really these type of holsters excel, is those larger firearms. So they've got my business for life as long as they stay open. I'll be buying more holsters. So getting into the cons, one of the first things, and it's, you know, it's minor, but because of the thicker Kydex, I did find that just using a hairdryer was harder to try and mold a tighter retention here into the trigger guard. You know, if I had a heat gun, probably wouldn't be a big issue, but that thicker Kydex is harder to remold if you need to. But with the retention here, it's not really an issue, but I did want to bring it up for people in case, you know, that was something that they really wanted to try and do, was remold that, or, you know, add some additional retention, what have you. So the other thing is these clips. They work, they're metal, they're tight, they hold on your belt, they're not going to come off when you draw your holster. So those are all positives. The negative is this big flared edge. It catches on stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it does. It's not bent, you know, kind of down and out enough. It flares out. The other side does the same thing. They're not my favorite. They wouldn't be my first choice if they offered something else. I'd even be willing to pay for something different as an upgrade. Whether it be like those quick release Kydex type clips, the J clips that come down and loop up so they go behind your belt and hook up underneath it so they can't be seen. If you're wearing this holster with dress pants and say like you know, I have to wear polos usually for work, not dress shirts, but I have to tuck them in with my dress pants. You can see these clips. You know, most people don't pay close enough attention to care that they're there or know what they are or even ask, but they're there. They can be seen. And so, you know, I'd like another option. I'd like the flexibility of being able to choose the type of clips, because this would not be my first choice after having used them. They can scratch up things if they're, you know, trying to get in and out of my car. They can get caught. You know, it doesn't happen a lot, but it does, and it can. And I would prefer something else, but they work. They're made in the USA. And they're steel, and they're good quality. They're just, I think there's better options out there. So I found some sites where you can order just the clips themselves. I might give that a try, kind of see how they handle on here and maybe update in the future, but that's my biggest con. Other than that, I love it. I highly recommend you guys go get one. Again, oldfaithfulholsters.com. I'll put the link in the description box, but here's your review. Hope you guys liked it. I love the holster. Again, it's been a year. Been wearing it almost every day. I've got friends that have bought them for my video, other YouTubers, and they like them as well. So yeah, that's it, guys. Give you one last final view. Pop the 238 in there. And hopefully you guys have a fantastic night, and we will talk to you later. Thanks for checking out my video.